Hello everyone, welcome back to Chill Ill Trades, where I make it my job to analyze stocks so that you can understand what's happening in the market. This is the second video today. Go check out my other one on Tesla. I did some technical analysis on that chart. But this video, what you're here to listen to, is Root Insurance. So I made a video a few days ago. You can go check that out as well. More the fundamental and the technical side of the business. But today we're just going to look into the short-term price movement and action. So let's just get right into it. So obviously we had kind of a short squeeze a couple weeks ago for the stock. And as I mentioned in my other video, the stock was going to have to pull back just because it got way too hot. And this is not the short's favorite stock. There's some other ones they're enjoying more than this. So it just seemed like it really needed to pull back. And so where we're at in the phase of this pullback is we've pulled back pretty hard, but we've seen some consolidation. So if we start seeing more price action and pushing above this recent price channel, that's a big positive because a couple things are happening. One thing is for RSI. So RSI is down here. So for the last few months, we've been below this 55 to 46 range on RSI, going back and forth. And so typically you'll find a range in the RSI and it will be below, and that's kind of a bear trend or downward trend. But we've recently broke above, and the stock is deciding if it wants to stay above this section or not. If we can get the stock to move above, then we're probably going to see the price breakout. If we stay in this kind of sideways zone, we could see some more consolidation, which I don't want to really hold a consolidating stock in the short term. But if we see this breakout, that could point to positives. In connection with that, we do see that the stock just broke above the both 50-day simple moving average, SMA, and the 50-day EMA, which is exponential moving average. That's a positive. It's the red and the blue line. Two really big positives. Now that we talked about that, let's go ahead and put this on the 100-day because this is also going to be important for our price target. Let me do that real quick. Awesome. So we broke above the 50-day. So my short term, let me bring my little things over here so we can all see it. Short term, what I'm looking for is a break above this little orange channel here, which is at 1120. If we can break above 1120, we're probably going to see more volume pump into this stock. So there's two things. One, we need this trend line to hold. If we hold that trend line and we get volume above this 1120, then we'll probably see some nice short squeeze and price action. This is still one of the top shorted stocks on the market, and so as soon as some technicals break out, we do see volume to start pushing in and the shorts covering. As I mentioned, this is more of a short-term kind of squeeze for me unless something else happens for the stock, but I have a couple price targets. So the first price target, and it's mostly just based off prior kind of support, so we see a lot of kind of price movement in this kind of range. So one is from the 1120 price breakout to about the, I think I put in here, 1175 to 1180 range. That's going to be my first price target. I think that gives you a decent amount of upside. It's about 10% upside, which is not too bad. And I'll get to a second, but you can put a pretty short stop loss on this. So we have about a 10% upside in there. If I see a lot of volume start to come in, so what we see the last 3 days is we start to see a little bit of increase in volume. So what we're going to want to see is we're going to want the next few days to continue to increase and increase and increase more. If we start seeing daily volume increase more and more and coming into this kind of resistance area and it breaks out, then the next price target I'm going to be looking at is at these 100-day SMAs and EMA. And that price is around 1250 to 1260. 1250 to 1260 is probably going to be my max short-term upside on this stock, unless we just see a lot of volume come in and we continue to see this bullish trend move forward. There's still some fundamental things that aren't looking great for the stock, but in the short term, there's definitely some upside. So let me say it again. My first price target is around $11.70, and then if we continue to see volume, my next price target is around $12.50. But as I mentioned, if we continue to see the volume, I would like to see a cup and handle form. So a cup and handle form, basically a pattern is when it comes down, it starts creating this cup, and then you have a little handle, and then it breaks out. So that's something we're going to want to look more in the long term, and we need a lot of volume to continue this kind of steep uptrend to finish this cup. So if we see a lot of volume, if we see RSI break out, those are things I'm going to be looking for. But we always need to be prepared for the downside because that can happen. So it depends on your risk appetite, but I would say the first stop loss is going to be under this first trend line, which is around 1060, 1050 to 1060. You can even do a little bit higher than that, probably like $10.65 to $10.55 is going to be your first stop loss, and that's pretty tight. I mentioned this stock in the Discord a little bit earlier today, so go join that. We're putting alerts in there. It's in the description. But it limits your downside. You have maybe 3 to 5% downside, and my first upside target is 10% to 20%. So this is a good risk reward in my book. If you have a little bit more risk tolerance, then I would say the bottom of this channel is going to be where you're going to want to set your stop loss just below. And the bottom of this range is $10.34. So when you're putting a stop loss, you always want to put it a few cents below, because sometimes people try to push the stock low to have everyone's stop loss trigger, then they buy. So you're going to want to put it a little bit below that trade channel right here, but that would be another option for a stop loss. In the worst case scenario, if the stock breaks below this trend line, then the stock is no longer a buy if you want to hold it longer. This kind of upward trend lines have been forming, and if those break, that's probably a pretty bad sign for the stock. But if we come back, and we even test this one a little bit and keep trugging up, we might not see the cup and handle that we really want, but as long as we hold this trend line, it could keep moving up until we get to this long-term downward trend line. I mentioned these long-term downward trend lines in my other video, so go check that out. But I just wanted to make a quick video. I went a little bit longer than I wanted. But let me know where you think the stock is headed. Do you think we're going to form a cup and handle? Do you think we'll hit $12.50? Do you think we'll go back and test the top of this candle back at around $15? Or is this just a BS push and the stock's headed lower? Love to know what you think. Please like and subscribe. Join the Discord if you haven't already. And lastly, I do a Saturday and Sunday stream on Twitch. Saturdays we play video games, me and my buddy, and we talk about the stock market. And then Sundays, I basically do this, but I allow you just to ask me whatever stock you want, and I'll chart it for you live on stream. So go check out all those things. There's a plethora of resources as we're building this community and this squad. So I appreciate you coming back. If you're here for a second time, third time, fifth time, and if you're here for the first time, come join the group. Thank you so much, guys.